Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And I also need to pause for a public service announcement for Bookmap. Bookmap is asking everyone to fill out a form for Bookmap Discord. It will provide extra additional benefits, webinars, services, beta programs, free add-ons, other freebies, and it will help us to reduce spam in Bookmap Discord. So if you can scan this code, it should send you to a form. You'll need your email address, your Bookmap Discord name, and your license key for Bookmap. And if you don't have a license key for Bookmap, you can just sign up for a free version if you're not interested in subscribing to a paid version of Bookmap. So you can subscribe to a free version of Bookmap that's for crypto. It does include delayed data, pretty substantially delayed for stocks and futures, I believe. All right, so everyone, if you have not done so already, please fill out the form for Bookmap Discord. Here's my contact information. The best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comments, and content related to the topics of my presentation and the topics of the channel that I'll go through in just a moment. And note that Bookmap Discord, there's a lot of great content there around about a wide variety of assets, options, stocks, futures, crypto, also in a wide variety of languages, a number of experienced traders and less experienced traders, all working together to help each other become better traders. Also, again, I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter. My name there is at Doug Pless. Also want to go over my key tenets for trading. This would set the framework for what I'm looking at, what I'm showing today, and how I look at the market. So first of all, I believe that options trades and market maker hedging activity are key drivers of price, and many need to edit that. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. And many stocks and futures. So again, options trades, market maker hedging activity are key drivers of price in many stocks and futures. Excuse me. Also for the S&P 500, SPX and SPY, which is just another version of SPX, is the underlying index. ES is a derivative of SPX. So when traders buy and sell puts and calls in the SPX and SPY, market makers hedge those trades with ES futures. They always want to remain delta neutral. So if traders are buying calls, for example, in SPX, market makers are selling calls, and they have to buy ES futures to hedge their delta exposure. And that's the only way to hedge SPX. All right, for the NASDAQ, the same, NDX and QQQ, that's the underlying index. And in the case of NASDAQ 100, the QQQ is the most important underlying, and NQ is a derivative of the NDX. All right, so for the same thing, when traders buy and sell puts and calls in QQQ. Now there are other drivers of price. and this does not occur all day, every day. But overall, options trades, market maker hedging activity are key drivers of price in many stocks and futures. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as a directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis, and for setups for entries and exits. And when I talk about setups today, I will be focusing on an underlying asset. And setups in that asset can be taken any number of ways. For example, the S&P 500 setups can be taken with ES futures, SPY shares, SPY options, SPX options, or even ES options. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the chat in the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord, as well as the chat in YouTube for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post. I'll do my best to answer your questions. All right, here's my agenda for today, Tuesday, February 6th. First of all, normally I go over news items. There's nothing today, so we'll just skip over that. Slow to Razi did post some earnings today. The stocks that I follow, most have already reported earnings, except for NVIDIA. All right, so the next positional analysis. Then I'll review some setups from earlier today. Then I'll take a look at the live market. And when I get to the live market, if anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do that. And hello, Stephen, welcome. Glad you're here. All right, let's get started with positional analysis. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. This is the ES futures and Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I do want to take a look at the underlying index, which is SPX, in a larger time frame. Hello, Caesar. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right, so let's go to SPX. I'm going to start with a one-day chart. This is in Thinkorswim. The current rally began last year, October 30th. Ran into resistance at 4,800 toward the end of the year and early this year. Then SPX broke out of that range above 4,800 on options expiration last January, past January, January 19th. All right, from there, let's pick it up with a shorter time frame. Still sticking with SPX, the underlying index. I'm going to go to a 1-hour chart. So this is SPX 1-hour chart. Here's the resistance, 4,800 level. The breakout on expiration Friday. Resistance at 4,900. Then a breakout last Monday. So not this week, but the previous week. Breakout. FOMC, reaction, and then rally beginning Thursday after the FOMC up to 49.75. All right, so that's where the SPX stands now, right around a couple of key levels that I'll talk about in just a moment. All right, so speaking of levels, let me point out the levels on this chart. First of all, I have the lower and upper weekly expected move. This is based on the options market that's shown with the dashed purple lines. I update that once a week, and those levels remain in place for the entire week. All right, next, the dashed blue lines are showing the lower and upper daily expected move. Also based on the options market, I update those levels once a day. That's based on the closing price of SPX. And hello, Ida. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right, the other lines on the chart are showing Spotgamma levels. These are levels that are provided to Spotgamma subscribers. They're based on gamma-weighted open interest. They are proprietary to Spotgamma. Each one has a different meaning. And I'm going to start with the key daily levels. Let me zoom in on this just a little bit so we can get a better picture of these levels. All right, so the key daily levels, first of all, here's the put wall. That's at 49.20. That's a strike with the largest net negative gamma. That can be expected to act as support. That level did move slightly lower from yesterday. It was at 49.30 yesterday, now at 49.20. So a slight move lower in the put wall. Then the volatility triggers the next level up. That is Spotgamma's proprietary gamma and volatility flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to enhance or increase volatility. On the other hand, above that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue or decrease volatility. When market makers are trading, they're selling as price moves up and they're buying as price moves lower. Then finally, and that level did move higher from yesterday, from 49.30 to 49.45. So a slight move higher in the volatility trigger for SPX. And then finally, 5,000 is the call wall. That's a strike with the largest net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance. That's also the absolute gamma strike. That's a strike with the largest absolute positive and negative gamma. That's where most of the gamma-weighted open interest is concentrated. So those are the key daily levels, fairly tight range there. Potential floor at 49.20, potential ceiling at 5,000. All right, finally, let's take a look at the, again, sticking with SPX. One more chart. We're going to go to a 1 minute chart. So the right shaded portion here is the regular trading hours. And note the levels in play for today. Here's the volatility trigger at 49.45. This combo 2 level that has acted as support, then resistance. Now price testing that level again. So that's been a very important level today. That is the combo 2 level combining SPY and SPX gamma weighted open interest into one level shown here in terms of an SPX price. 49.50 just above that. So note that SPX has been trading up and down around the volatility trigger. So that gamma volatility flip level has definitely been in play for today. All right, let's go to Bookmap now. In Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes, so I can show those levels on my Bookmap chart. So here are the SPX levels that I talked about. The volatility trigger, combo 2 level, and then the 49.50 large gamma 4 level above that. Note there is a difference in price between ES and SPX. And today it's trading somewhere between 20 and 21. Right now I'm using 21. So ES minus SPX equal, again, somewhere between 20 and 21. What I'm showing is 21. So ES minus SPX, 21. Here's the SPX 4950 level at ES 4971. So SPX 4950, ES 4971. And that level has definitely been in play for today. I'm also showing SPY levels on my chart. Here's the SPY 494 large gamma 4 level. Great entry point for a short this morning. Here's the SPY 493 large gamma 3 level, acting as resistance multiple times. Here and here. Then price finally broke out above that level. All right, so I have SPY levels, SPX levels on this chart, and then other key levels for ES, and there are none in this range. All right, we'll talk about setups in a few minutes. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ now. Oh, shifts in levels again. Let me just summarize the shifts in levels for the SP 500. Volatility trigger higher, slightly higher, and put wall slightly lower for SPX. Just the opposite for SPY. Volatility trigger lower and put wall higher. And also the absolute gamma strike shifted lower for the for SPY. So kind of a mixed picture for shifts in levels. Overall today, my directional bias thesis for the SP 500 was neutral. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ now. So this is the NQ futures and Bookmap. A little bit weaker today than the SP 500. And again, remember the underlying index products, QQQ and NDX. So let's take a look at those charts. I'm going to first start with QQQ. This is a 1-minute chart. Dark portion on the right showing today. Price action for today. Regular trading hours. 430 level, that's the absolute gamma strike, acting as resistance in the morning. Notice price moves down, consolidation at the round number levels. Then a lot of chop around the 0 gamma level at 427. Note the 428 is the volatility trigger, and QQQ currently trading below that. And earlier today, the 426 acting as support. All right, shifts in levels for QQQ, just minor. The volatility trigger shifted higher, up to 428 shown here. So QQQ again trading below its volatility trigger. All right, let's take a look at NDX. We'll take a look at this just for completeness, but I typically focus most of my attention on QQQ for the NASDAQ. All right, so levels in play for NDX. This combo level up above, just to right around the QQQ 430 level, acting as resistance. And then these two levels, the 17,600, 625, also in range today. All right, let's go back to Bookmap, NQ futures. So just like ES, I have my own cloud notes, so I can show QQQ levels. There's the 430 absolute gamma strike acting as resistance just after the cash open. And there's the NDX levels, the 600 and 625 large gamma levels. And QQQ 428, 427, and 426. I also have the big round numbers, the zeros and the 50s for NQ, and then also note the lower daily expected move for NQ, and price did trade below that today and now trading back above. All right, shifts and levels again for QQQ. The volatility trigger shifted higher, and the same for NDX. All right, so minor shifts and levels for the NASDAQ as well. All right, let's take a look at gamma notional, see how market makers were positioned on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. And this is, remember, this is at the beginning of the day. So what I'm going to look at, this is the data table at the bottom of the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. Gamma notional for the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Russell 2000. Note for S&P 500 and NASDAQ, all these numbers are positive. Again, at the beginning of the day, this indicates for an index that on this position of the gamma curve, traders are short calls, market makers are long calls, hence the positive gamma, and they have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure. Now this is does not paint a complete picture. So what I want to do is take a look at a couple of things on the index page here. This is for SPX. I'm going to start with the Vanna model. What this chart is showing is market makers delta notional on the vertical axis, price for SPX on the horizontal axis. There are two curves on this chart. The light gray curve shows how market makers delta notional may change with changes in price only, and the purple curve, that's what we want to take a look at, shows how market makers delta notional may change with changes in price and applied volatility. And that change in delta with a change in applied volatility is the Vanna effect, hence the name of this chart. All right, so the purple curve is the one that we want to take a look at. So let's check the low of the day for SPX. Right around 49.35. So let's see where that is on this curve here. So that's on this portion of the curve to the left, typical of a negative gamma environment. So what this is showing is if price continues to fall, market makers delta notional will increase, and they'll have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure. On the other hand, if price increases, market makers delta notional will decrease, and they can buy back their short futures hedges. All right, so the Vanna model paints a little bit different picture than the gamma notional at the beginning of the day, looking more negative, and that's really confirmed by SPX trading up and down around the volatility trigger today. And let's take a look at one other chart. Let's see where that is. This is the combo strikes. So remember the volatility trigger is right around 49.45, right between these two strikes. So these bars are showing gamma. The bars above the zero line are showing positive gamma, call gamma, and below the zero line showing put gamma or negative gamma. So it's pretty clear from this chart. That's the gamma flip level. So below this level, put domination. There's slight put domination below this level. All right, so that's my planning process. So based on this, looking for, again, kind of neutral for the S&P 500 as far as directional bias goes, and also looking for low to moderate volatility, more of a range day. All right, let's take a look at some setups now. So everything that we've looked at so far, other than Bookmap, is based on static data. It's updated once a day. OCC provides open interest data once a day. Spotgamma takes that data, applies their algorithms to that data to come up with the levels that we've looked at and everything else. The Vanna model, gamma curve. All right, so now let's switch over to the execution process and start to look at real-time data. So what this chart is showing is the HERO signal. This is available to Spotgamma subscribers. HERO stands for Hedging Impact Real-Time Options. And the white curve on this chart, the white line, is showing price for SPX. The purple curve is the HERO signal, again, Hedging Impact Real-Time Options. So what this means is if traders are taking positive delta positions, they're buying calls and or selling puts, the HERO line is going to be rising. This is in terms of delta. So traders are taking positive delta positions. Market makers take the opposite side, and they have to buy ES futures to hedge their delta exposure. And this HERO signal is for a combined signal of SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. So Spotgamma is combining options trades and market maker hedging activity in all those instruments to display on this chart. So this is the most complete picture of options trades and market maker hedging activity in the S&P 500. This is the chart for the day. I'm going to zoom in on this chart now. And this number, this total notional value of 480 million is very low. Not much going on today. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is let's review a setup from this morning. So I'm going to zoom in on this chart. And I did post this in Discord. I didn't actually, I posted the HERO signal and the Bookmap chart in Discord. So what I was looking at in the morning up until about 9:45, traders were taking positive delta positions, and that shifted pretty sharply to negative delta positions. So when traders take negative delta positions, again, market makers take the opposite side, and they have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure. Stephen says, saw that. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Stephen. All right, so let's go take a look at Bookmap now. I'm going to zoom in, and we'll take a look at the clues and confirmation in Bookmap for the short setup. All right, so what I was looking at, remember right around 9:45, options traders started taking negative delta positions, shift from positive delta to negative delta. I'm looking at this 494 level. I typically want to frame my trades around the levels shown on my chart. So I'm looking for reactions at these key levels. So there's the SPY 494 level. I see just at the cash open that acted as resistance. Actually, let me change that to Sorry. Try one more time. Get my arrow pointer. So that was resistance. Note also the liquidity in the heat map just above that level. The heat map in Bookmap shows a history of the limit orders in the order book. Those were limit sell orders. And then as traders start taking negative delta positions, so price moves higher, traders start taking negative delta positions. Price does ES does a recheck, a 494 lower high. So at this point, that's the first lower high. Great entry point for a short. Note the aggressive sellers starting to come in. The volume dots are showing buy minus sell. Magenta dots indicate more sellers than buyers, and green volume dots indicate more buyers than sellers. Note also on the subchart, both the dark blue line, that's showing CVD, cumulative volume delta, is falling, and as price starts to move lower, the yellow line starts to drop. That's showing stop orders, sell stop orders, help to fuel the move lower. So again, what I'm looking for is reactions at these key levels. So there's your entry point for short, and if you missed it, there's another entry point as ES continued to make lower highs. So nice short setup in the morning. Again, I posted that in Discord. Let me just point out. Let's go back and take a look at options trades again, and then we'll take a look at some other areas on this chart. All right, so during this time, let's go back. Say around 10:30 to not quite 11:30. There were some great shorts, multiple shorts at the volatility trigger. That's this area here. So let's go see what options traders were doing during that time. Go back to Hero. So note that just before 10:30, traders started taking positive delta positions. Price moved up higher. Hero consolidated, and there was chop up and down around that volatility trigger, mostly lower, setting up multiple shorts at the kind of cluster of levels there. Let's take a look at one other thing. So this is a combined signal, again, for the S&P 500. One thing that I look at every day is this Mag 7 signal, and this is the combined signal for the stocks known as the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla. These stocks make up a large component of both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. It always helps to pay attention to this. And note for the day, it's been trending down all day after a brief move up, starting around 9:45. It began moving lower. This was some additional confirmation, actually acting as a lead for the S&P 500 short. Also a great indication for a NASDAQ short. During this time of consolidation that I was just talking about, the Mag 7 signal continued to trend lower. Not quite the steep slope of this initial move lower, but instead of consolidating like the S&P 500 signal, it was still trending lower. In my mind, putting downward pressure on the both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So note the time here. This is right around 9:43, 9:45 when the hero signal for Mag 7 starts to make a lower high. So that the high of the day for the Mag 7 signal 9:43. Let's go back to the S&P 500. Here's the high of the day. That's at 9:46. So a slight lead for the hero signal for Mag 7. All right, so let's go back to this area right here. We know that the hero signal for the Mag 7 was trending lower, mostly sideways for the S&P 500. Let's go back. Zoom in a little bit more. So this is what I was looking at, multiple shorts at either the SPY 493 level or the volatility trigger, each good for about 5 points or so. All right, let's move on to NASDAQ. Going to zoom in. So if you're watching the hero signal, the safer entry for, first of all, this is the 430, QQQ 430, acting as resistance at the cash open. Some aggressive buyers on the way up, shown by the green volume dots. Aggressive sellers come in, and the same thing at 9:45 when traders start taking negative delta positions in the Mag 7. Aggressive sellers start to come in, and price reverses lower below the 625 level. That's also the QQQ 429 level. And then there were multiple pullback entries. This one to the 600 level, also QQQ 428, and another short at the NQ 650. And the pretty much the same clues in NASDAQ as the S&P 500. Cumulative volume delta moving lower. That's shown by the dark blue to pink line. It shifts to magenta when the value turns negative. Also, sell stop orders fueling the move lower and down, as we saw before, down below, finally below the lower daily expected move. And that's a good place to for a longer term target for the day. All right, so now NASDAQ back down right at the lower daily expected move. Let's go back in Hero and take a look at what let's go back to the Mag 7 signal. So this continues to be negative all day. Some consolidation in the afternoon. Notional value minus 1.16 billion. Traders definitely taking negative delta positions in the Mag 7 stocks. All right, so let's take a look at some of those stocks, then we'll get to the live market. The first stock that I want to take a look at, and I kind of have a wall theme today, so I'm going to start with AMD. And this is actually referring back to yesterday. Yesterday I showed AMD reversing at the 180 call wall key gamma strike, and today that move lower continues. Now down towards the put wall. That's at 165. Note traders were taking negative delta positions up until about 11:50. This is pretty typical of a stock. Traders taking negative delta positions up until anywhere from 10:30 to 12 or so, and then they take the foot off the gas, maybe start taking positive delta positions, and price consolidates or reverses higher. So a very typical pattern, aggressive early in the morning, and in the case of AMD here, that continues up until about noon or so. And when AMD approaches the put wall, they finally stop taking negative delta positions, start taking positive delta positions. All right, let's go take a look at Bookmap. Go to AMD. All right, so from the call wall yesterday, down close to the put wall at 165. All right, so another bearish day here in AMD. All right, the next is Amazon. Usually there's not much range in Amazon, but I did want to point out, since I have this wall theme today, 170 is the call wall key gamma strike. And Amazon price broke below that. Let's go take a look at Hero, see what options traders have been doing today. Back to Hero, to Amazon, and here's that 170 call wall key gamma strike. And price breaks below, and as price starts moving lower, some larger orders come in. That's shown by these vertical lines. Large block orders, institutional orders, helping to move Amazon lower. Note the flow alert there indicating significant options activity. And that has continued until about 1:30. Large positive delta position comes in, and price is starting to consolidate around right now. Let's go back to Bookmap. So reversal at the 170 call wall. Price now trying to move higher, consolidating. All right, the next is Google. All right, for Google, 145 is the call wall key gamma strike. Acting as resistance. Let's see what options traders are doing. Go to Google. Really, the hero signal is kind of all over the place, but it was, let's zoom in on the morning here, definitely bearish. Here's the call wall, key gamma strike, price reverses at that level, traders taking negative delta positions, price moves lower. And then finally, Meta. Note for Meta, 455 is the put wall. So in the morning, traders were taking negative delta positions. And then right around just before 10:30, at the put wall, they start taking positive delta positions. So they're looking for support at 455. Let's just see what they were doing. Separate out puts and calls. Orange line showing calls. Blue line showing puts. So starting around 9:45, 9:50, they started aggressively selling calls. And then right around 10:05, sorry about that. Starting right around 10:05, like good contrarian options traders, they start selling puts on the low, taking advantage of the higher volatility of that move lower, also the price lower to sell puts, and then price consolidates right around that put wall level, and then as they start to buy calls, price moves higher. So the rising line indicates traders are buying calls, positive delta. The rising blue line indicates traders are selling puts, also positive delta. Note both these numbers are positive, so net for the day they are buying calls and selling puts. Let's go back to the total signal. And now as the hero signal has consolidated, price is doing the same. Let's go back to Bookmap, go to Meta. There's the 455 put wall. Remember, traders started selling puts when they started buying calls. In addition to selling puts, Meta rose higher, hero signal levels off, and here Meta still struggling below VWAP. That's shown by the light blue line there, VWAP resistance right around 459. All right, does anyone have any stocks they want me to take a look at? All right, let's get back to the S&P 500. Oh, nice reversal lower. We'll take a look at this. Reversal lower right at 49.48. Down to the high liquidity just around 492. The heat map in Bookmap is showing a history of the limit orders in the order book. So these orders below price are limit buy orders. Let's WRB wants to take a look at Tesla. I'll look at Tesla in a minute. Let's figure out what is going on here in the S&P 500. This reversal lower right around 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock reversal. So let's go back to Hero. Take a look at the S&P 500. Zoom in. So Hero drops lower, right around 2. Let's see if we can slice and dice this a little bit to get some more detail. First of all, I want to take a look at 0 TTE trades. So the green line or teal line is showing trades and options that expire in the next expiry, and for the SP 500 that's today. So the SPX, SPY, ES all have options that expire every day. So the teal line is showing options that expire today for the SP 500. So that provides a little bit of additional clue. That did start to level off here. Go back to all trades, shown by the purple line. Separate out puts and calls. So right around 2, traders just started selling calls and buying puts. So when the blue line and the orange line move in the same direction, that's a very powerful directional signal. Sorry about this auto zoom. This has been a problem with Hero for some time. So starting around 120, 115, actually right around 130. Orange line, blue line moving in the same direction. That's a powerful directional indicator. And then they both shift lower right at 2. So a powerful directional indicator for a move lower. All right, let's take a look and see what traders were doing in the Mag 7 stocks. All right, so not a lot of additional clue here. Let's go back to the total signal. Take a look at NASDAQ. All right, so now it looks like option traders are reversing higher. Right at that high liquidity at the 492 level. All right, let's get to Tesla. And Sotorizzi wants to take a look at Snap. I don't have Snap in Bookmap, but we can take a look in Hero. So very bullish morning for Tesla. Traders take positive delta positions. And as they take the foot off the gas, Tesla consolidates. That happened pretty early. So first 15 minutes, bullish for Tesla. Then Hero signal levels off. Let's go take a look at Bookmap for Tesla. A lot of green volume dots, a lot of aggressive buyers in Tesla today. Here's the opening print just above 177. Traders aggressively taking positive delta positions. Price zooms higher. They take the foot off the gas. Now Tesla is consolidating or moving lower. All right, Sotorazzi wants to take a look at Snap. So again, I don't have Snap and Bookmap. We can take a look here in Hero, see what options traders are doing. Very choppy. Very low notional value, 4.2 million. And net for the day, traders are buying calls and selling puts. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Mag 7. Back to the S&P 500. So for me today, this is providing the best confirmation of price action. Let's go back to Bookmap, go to ES. So let's look at this reversal. And again, these are the key levels where I want to trade. Typically, the SPY levels, especially the Spotgamma levels. So as price moves up to this level that I expect to act as resistance, price starts to consolidate. Then breaks lower. So if you're expecting this level to act as resistance, you could enter a short at that level, wait for a move lower, and I would enter a short at the 49.45 volatility trigger as price moves lower. And in that case, you can also see there were one large trader selling this move higher with iceberg orders. That's shown by the on-chart indicator, also the sub-chart indicator. That's that light blue line. And as price moves lower, cumulative volume delta starts to move lower, and then sell stop orders with the yellow line also fuel the move lower. A very obvious target at all this liquidity, up and down around 492. All right, so again, I'm always looking for reactions at these levels. And interesting how this liquidity has come in around the 492 level. And yesterday, 492 was the volatility trigger for SPY. All right, so again, what I'm doing is I'm just looking for reactions at these levels and anticipating any test from below. The level will act as resistance. Any test from above, it may act as support. And Floyd's Garage, welcome. Glad you're here. Floyd's Garage says that's fast. Not sure what that means. Maybe if you could clarify. All right, WRB wants to take a look at IWM or Russell 2000. I don't have either in Bookmap. We can take a look in Hero here. So this is a combined signal for RUT and IWM. So pretty choppy day. Let's just try IWM. This is one reason that I don't trade the Russell 2000. There's just not a lot of options activity typically, and not a lot of. I don't feel like I have much edge in trading trading the Russell 2000. So again, this notional value right around 31 million. Let's compare that with the SP 500. Even at a low value, it's minus 600 million. And I've seen this get up into range up to 10 or 12 billion for the SP 500. So the SP 500 very heavily driven by options trades and market maker hedging activity. All right, Abu asked about NQ, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. My time is up. All right, so NQ signal not providing much. Let's go to the Mag 7 signal. Still pretty flat, consolidating. Let's just take a look at if we can look at a shorter rolling window. So here this is showing from about 12:15, the hero signal moving higher, then consolidating. Now maybe move lower around to, or let's go to Bookmap NQ, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. So NQ still trading around this cluster of levels here, the lower daily expected move, QQQ 426 and NQ 600. So now moving slightly higher. And really the range is I guess the most recent range for the last couple of hours, 427 on the upside, and let's say 425.50 on the downside, chopping up and down around, really around 426 in the middle. And note, at these lower points, aggressive sellers on the way down, aggressive buyers on the way up, CVD shifts higher. Also, large traders net for the day have been buying the weakness with iceberg orders. And on the other hand, sell stop orders and CVD have been trending down all day, helping to drive the move lower. All right, my time is up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you very much for your questions and comments. I hope I answered all your questions. If not, you can post them in Discord. Everyone have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.